All right, guys, so we're going to start out just by going over kind of the policies for the classroom, tell you how things are going to work, expectations for you, what you can expect from me, okay, resources that will be available to you, okay, all those kinds of things. So we'll be talking about a number of things here as we go along. All right, so we'll start off first. I'm Mr. Coder, okay, and so I'll be your Science 10 teacher. And we'll be spending, well, the next 5 months or so together here, okay? So first thing here, guys, that's really important is attendance, okay? You probably realized after first semester that grade 10 moves a lot faster than grade 9 did, okay? And what I always tell people when I'm telling them about Science 10 is, if I taught Science 9 as fast as I have to teach Science 10, and I've taught Science 9, so I know how much there is in that course, I would be done teaching you Science 9 probably around the second week of April. Okay, that's how fast we have to move, okay, in order to get everything done. So missing time is bad. Okay, there's no other way to say it. If you miss, one class, okay, I mean, people get sick. You miss 2 classes, okay, you were really sick. But if you're taking off for a week, that's going to be a problem. Okay, you're going to miss a lot of material and you can get behind really, really quickly. So we need to make sure we're here as often as possible. Now, I'm not saying that if you're at home and you're puking your guts out and whatever, that you should drag yourself to school with a pail. Okay, I'm not saying that. Okay, there's resources to help you out for short-term misses, okay, or short-term absences. But long-term absences, okay, those are gonna hurt you, okay, and we want to try and avoid those as much as possible. Okay, so be aware that if you are absent, you are responsible for any material that you miss, including labs, assignments, projects, okay, whatever. Now, I use Google Classroom all the time. So if you're absent, you will know what you have missed. Okay, each and every day I record what I teach you, which is what I'm doing right now. That's why I have the little microphone here over my ear. Okay, I record everything that goes on the smartboard and I post it to YouTube each and every day. All right, and there will be a link to that in Google Classroom. So if you miss, that's the first place you go. Okay, you go to Google Classroom and you find out what we did that particular day and you watch the class recording. It's the next best thing to being there. Maybe it's even better because you don't have to look at my ugly mug, okay, while it's going on, okay, but you will get everything that we did, okay, if you were gone. Now, is it 100% equal to being here? No, it's not. Okay, the reason it's not is all you're going to hear is me. The microphone will not pick up the voices of the people in the classroom, so you won't get, if there's discussion, you're not going to get both sides of the discussion because you won't hear what other people say. And a lot of times that's an important part of what goes on in the class. So I don't want you to get the idea that, well, because Coder records everything and posts it on YouTube, I don't have to be there. I just have to watch that and stay home. No, okay, not the case. There's a lot of instruction that goes on that is not necessarily going to get picked up. Okay, so it's the next best thing. It's okay if you're only missing a little bit. Okay, so make sure that you're using the podcasts, okay, in Google Classroom in order to stay caught up with everything. Okay, the big thing, guys, is that I never want to be asked, what did I miss? Okay, like if you come back after being gone for 3 days, you should already know. Okay, it's your job to check that. Now, if you come back after being gone for 3 days and say, Mr. Coder, I watched all the podcasts and I think I get this and this, but I don't understand this. Can you explain it to me? No problem. Okay, that's my job to explain it to you. Okay, you come in and we can sit down and schedule help or lunch or whatever, and we'll get it figured out. Okay, but if you just come back and you've done nothing while you've been gone, Mr. Coder, what did I miss? My answer will be a lot. Okay, and you're going to have to get caught up. Okay. All right, lates, okay? Class begins when the bell goes. This is period 1, so that's 8:35. Make sure you're in the classroom ready to go before 8:35, okay? Other than today, when 8:35 happens, that door will close. If you are on the other side of that door, stay on the other side of that door until I come get you. Don't knock, okay? Don't make faces at your friends through the window, okay? I'll see you, I'll come get you when it's not going to be an interruption to whatever it is we're doing at that time. Okay, we just want to limit interruptions. Okay, hopefully that's not going to be a problem. Okay, normally it isn't, but there's always 1 or 2. Okay, lates happen, but we want to limit them. Okay. All right, so resources that you have available to you for my classroom. Okay, so there's a Google Classroom available to assist you. Okay, the join code is right here. So let's have everybody take out their phones right now and let's do that. Okay, so once you've joined, okay, this is what you'll see. Obviously in September and I think again in November, Google made some updates to Google Classroom. Some good, most not. Okay, the layout and stuff is quite a bit different now, and we find it's not quite as user-friendly as it was before. Okay, but what you'll find on there, and you'll find it in the class work section here, okay, are the course materials that you will need for the course. Okay, so going to Google Classroom is going to be useful for you there. Okay, we're starting with chemistry. Okay, so if you click on the course materials, chemistry and startup, you will find a couple of PDF documents in there, okay, that you can print. This is the one you have already. So this is the one I've handed to you on paper. Okay, there's one that's lab report expectations. You don't necessarily need to print that, but it's there because we will have labs and it'll be useful for that. Okay, there's a periodic table and data sheets. I will give you that as well today. But if you lose yours, this is where you can get a replacement. Okay, and okay, you will find in there 2 Google Docs that will have your names on them. Okay, they are yours. Okay, they are your notes package and the worksheet booklet for this unit. And there's one for each unit. Okay, so it's broken up by unit. The idea here, guys, is this. I don't photocopy notes. Okay, we can save paper. Okay, and this is a good way of doing it. Okay, we're in the digital age, so okay, the expectation is that you will find some way to have the notes and the worksheet package on you. It is your choice how you do that. Some people go home and print them. That's fine. Okay, if you're a pen and paper person, great. Okay, then go ahead and go home and print them and bring them back in. My one suggestion would be don't print them in color. All right, it's, you know, by the time you've printed the entire notes package for the entire course, like all 4 units, you'll have printed, you know, 60 or 70 pages worth of stuff in color, and then you'll be going to Costco to get a new ink cartridge. Okay, so you don't want to be burning up an ink cartridge when you can look at the color versions online. Just save yourself some time and money and print it in black and white. Okay, so I would say definitely have the notes package either in a paper form or on your phone. Okay, or if you got a tablet or a laptop, whatever. Okay, guys, I have no problem with your phone being out on your desk. Okay, in my mind, phone's a tool. Okay, if it's out on your desk and you're using it to do the notes or you're using it to, you know, look at the worksheet that we're working on, that's great. Okay, I want you to do that. I want you to use the phone in that way. Okay, so I have no problem with you using your phone, okay, modifying the notes package. That's why I made a copy for each of you, okay, and I have a lot of people each semester who do that. I'm up here at the front talking and they're adding stuff to their notes package on their phone. Great, okay, that's exactly what you should do, okay. It's a tool and I expect it to be used in that way, all right. So it's up to you how you're going to do that, but you do need to have that notes package and the worksheet package with you every day. We don't have a textbook. All right, that is the textbook. So make sure you have both of those things. And since most of you probably never go anywhere without your phone, you should always have them with you because you can always look them up now. Okay. So on the note of not having a textbook, okay, there is a textbook. We don't like it. We didn't even bother ordering it. All right. So this is the stuff that you're going to need. Okay. Just make sure you always have it. And the good thing about it is you can't lose it. Okay, it's a shared document with you, so it can't get lost. Okay, so you'll need that, and then like I said, there's one for each unit. So there's course materials for biology. Okay, and for that it's just the notes package. And for physics, okay, same thing. If you view it, you'll see all of the materials in there. Okay, so it's all. That's weird. I'll have to double check those. For some reason it didn't come through, but we'll double check that. Okay, so that's where you'll find everything. And if you're in the stream, okay, obviously, okay, that's where I'll post each what happens each day. So what you'll see in there each day will be, you know, unit 1 or chemistry lesson 1, and there'll be a link to the YouTube, to the podcast on YouTube. And sometimes there'll be, like if we did a worksheet or if we did a lab or something like that, there'll be other materials there that'll help you to do that. So everything you'll need will be there. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're go to that. We'll look at what the YouTube channel looks like here, just so that we have an idea of what that's going to be. Okay, so if you go to, if you have your YouTube app, okay, you can go and find, this is my YouTube channel. Okay, so it's CoderreScience. It's both science and physics 20. I post all of my lessons to there, but it is set up so you guys would only need the science 10 lessons, and it will be organized by unit. Now, right now, all of last semester's podcasts are still in there. Okay, I will be archiving those and moving them out, but I wanted to leave them in there so you could see that there'll be 4 units. Once I take the ones out of there, those other 3 units will disappear. Okay, but that's where you can find everything you need. Okay, You can search if you know you're going to be absent ahead of time. You can always, search through and find ones from previous semesters, okay, and see if you can work ahead or something like that if you really want to. Okay, do you need to subscribe to that channel? No, you don't. Okay, you're going to get a link to it each and every day through Google Classroom. So, I mean, if you want to, great. Okay, but if you don't want to, don't worry about it. I'm only at 314 subscribers. I'm not making a dime off of this channel. Okay, because you got to get to 1,000 now with YouTube's new rules. Okay, before they changed their rules, I would make $10 during exam time because thousands of people from other places would watch the review podcast. But yeah, okay, it's not. I'm not in that for the money, so don't bother subscribing if you don't want to. Okay, all right. So, like I said, for each day, I'll post the day's activities, a link to the podcast, developments, notes, etc. on Google Classroom. In the post, I may also include links to the lab data. So if you were absent for a lab, the lab data will be there. Sometimes it's actually a video of me doing the lab. All right, so you can actually see what happened in the lab. Was there a color change when I mixed these two things together, whatever, so that if you weren't here, you're still able to do the lab report. And the expectation is that you will. If you are absent, do the lab report. Okay, so you can find all of that again through Google Classroom. Okay, and then again, by using the above resources, if you miss, you should return to class caught up with your classmates. Okay, because of that extra effort in making that material available to you, I expect you to be responsible for it. Okay, I never want to be asked, Mr. Coderre, what did I miss? You should already know. If you have questions about what you missed, that's not a problem. Come and see me and ask. Okay, all right, questions on any of that? All right. Okay. So for section 3 here, classroom behavioral norms. Okay, so this is just how things work so everyone can have a pleasant experience. Respect is the key. Okay, I'm going to treat you with respect. I'm not going to single you out and make fun of you in front of everybody else. Okay, I expect that you wouldn't do that to any of your classmates. Okay, I expect that I get respect from you as well in the form of you pay attention when I'm talking. If I ask you to complete something, you complete it. Okay, things like that. I'm not going to ask you to do anything unreasonable. All I'm going to ask is for you to do the stuff that will help you to learn and master the material. Okay. 3.2 here, listen up. That's my cue that I need your attention front and center. So if I say, listen up, we got to get going here today, or listen up, we're headed over to the lab today, or listen up, the room is on fire, we need to get out of here now. Okay. If I say listen up, I expect eyes forward, earbuds out, okay, and your full and undivided attention. Okay. 3.3 has to do with work. Okay. There's different types of assigned work in my class. Okay. There's assigned work that's coming in for marks. Okay. If it's something that's coming in for marks, it'll likely be posted in Google Classroom. It'll say assignment or lab report or something like that. Those are the things you need to do, and I'm going to mark them and return them to you. Okay. The other type of work is the stuff that we do in order to master our skills. Okay. Those would be things like worksheets and class activities and things like that. Okay. Those aren't going to be taken in. Okay. So if we're sitting and we're working on, a practice sheet to do with naming compounds, I'm not expecting that worksheet or those worksheets get handed in. They're for you to practice. Okay. They're for me to be able to circulate and see how you're doing, find out where your misunderstandings are and help you with them. Okay. I'm not going to take those kinds of things in, but I will always let you know this one's due for marks, this one's not. Okay. If it's not, it doesn't mean it doesn't get done. Okay. Just because it's not coming in for marks doesn't mean it's not important for you to complete it. Okay. It's just as important, but it's just not coming in for marks. Okay. Now, in regards to the work that is done for marks, okay, that stuff needs to get handed in. All right. If you don't hand that stuff in, it is worth a significant portion of your mark. Okay. And the number one way that people fail Science 10, and it doesn't happen very often. Okay. But the number one way that they do it is by doing nothing. Okay. If you do nothing, okay, then expect nothing. All right. And what that means is if you don't hand in your work, I can't give you any marks. Okay? You need to get your work done. You need to submit it. If I find that we're 2 assignments in and I still don't have anything from you, okay, then you and I are going to have a conversation, and then myself and your parents are going to have a conversation, and it's going to be little Johnny is not getting his work done. He's falling behind, and I'm really worried because that could mean he's not mastering the material. He's not going to get marks. He might fail the course. That's bad. and that's probably going to end up bad for you, as you'll be looking at 4 gray walls and bread and water, okay, until you get your stuff done. Yeah, exactly. The parents will lay the smack down, okay? The car keys will disappear, the PlayStation will go away, all that kind of stuff. You don't want that, okay? Just get your work done. I don't give an unreasonable amount of work in this class, so I expect that it gets done. Also, when I assign stuff, I give plenty of time for you to complete it. Right? If we do a lab, let's say, so we're over, and we'll do the pre-lab. I'll outline all the expectations for that in class. You'll have the Chromebooks in front of you, and you can get kind of the pre-lab stuff kind of done or half done, at least make some notes on it. We'll go across the hall, do the lab, and then we'll come back here, and whatever time is left, you'll have to work on it. Okay, that'll be the class time you would get for it, and then I would give you a minimum of 2 school days before I would expect it to be due. And I honestly can't remember the last time I only gave 2 school days. Most of the time it's 3 or 4. Okay, so if we did a lab on Tuesday, the earliest that I would expect that in would be like Friday. Okay, most of the time. So you have plenty of time to, okay, I got work on Wednesday, I got, practice on Tuesday, when am I going to get this done? I want to help you with your time management. I can't do that if I'm saying, oh yeah, by the way, this thing that's going to take you 45 minutes is due tomorrow. Okay, because maybe you don't have 45 minutes today to do it. That's not a fair expectation. So I'll always give you lots of time. And that way, when you're doing it, if there's something you're stuck on, it gives you time to come in and see me in scheduled help, okay, ask questions or whatever. So, we're not going to be unreasonable with our expectations. Now, does that mean there isn't a lot of work? No, there is. Okay, there's a lot of stuff to hand in. There's a lot of work in Science 10. So you have to be kind of mentally prepared for that. Okay, now, all of it does need to be completed. Okay, you are responsible for your own academic success. Like I said, I'll call home if there seems to be a problem with that. Now, the other thing is, should you, by some act of God, achieve a mark of less than 50% on an exam, you need to know something about our science department. There's no rewrites. Okay, you got to get it right the first time, because this is the start of real life. If you become a brain surgeon and you screw up, you don't get a do-over. Okay. If you build a bridge and you screw it up and it collapses, you don't get a do-over. Okay, this is real life. You don't get do-overs on exams. Anytime there's an exam, I will give you 2 weeks notice. Okay, that's plenty of time to start studying, come in and ask questions, and make sure you understand everything. Okay, but the expectation is that you are prepared and ready for that exam. Now, if it happens that you don't pass an exam, and again, that's a very rare occurrence, okay, then you will come in and sit down with me at lunch hour and we'll go through it. I'll have a little activity for you to do, and when that's done, I'll modify your mark, okay? But I will not let you do the test over again, okay? I'll let you earn something, but I won't let you just, oh, well, I didn't do well because I gambled. I took a chance I'd do well without studying and it didn't work out. You don't get to do that, okay? All right, 3.4, fairness versus equality. I will always try to be fair to everybody, okay? But fair obviously doesn't mean that I treat everybody exactly the same, because everybody's different. Everybody has a different situation going on, okay? So I will do my best to treat everyone fairly, okay? The example I always use happened about 8 or 9 years ago, where I had a lab due, and a bunch of kids came up, 3 kids came up to my desk that didn't have it done. And the first kid said to me, no, Coder, I don't have it done. I'm like, why? Like, you had almost a week to do this thing. Yeah, well, I left it till last night, and then the season finale of my favorite show was on, and yeah, I didn't do it. I'm like, all right, well, you got to hand it in as soon as you can, but you're going to take a late penalty on it, okay, which I'll talk about later. And that was that, okay? The other guy, kind of same story, left it till the last minute and then had hockey practice or whatever and just didn't get it done. And the third person was this girl behind them, and she looked like she'd have to get better to die. She looked terrible, like just like bags under her eyes, pale, like just, and I said, like, are you all right? Like, she looked like she was going to collapse at my desk. And she said, well, I've been better. I don't have my assignment done. I'm like, okay. And she said, here's what happened. Last night, my parents had this huge fight and they both stormed out of the house, and I had to make supper for my 2 brothers and sisters, and I made chicken and I didn't cook it enough, and we all got sick, and we spent the whole night throwing up, and I didn't get my assignment done. And so first off, I had to be a bit of a jerk and say, that's what happens when you leave it till the last minute. Okay? Calamity knows when you're unprepared, and it will strike then. But obviously, it's kind of extenuating circumstances. So, she got an extension, the other people didn't, right? So I'll always try to treat everybody fairly, because everybody's situation is different. Now, on the respect part of that, I would hope you won't come up to my desk and give an Oscar-worthy performance with some sob story you made up, okay, about why you didn't get your mark or didn't get your work done just to get out of a late penalty. Okay, I would hope you'd have a little more respect than that. Okay, and then lastly, accountability. High school is the start of real life, so due dates and timelines are part of your reality. Okay, that means you'll be expected and required to hand in material on time and be responsible for your actions. I'll give plenty of time for assignments to be completed, so there's very few excuses I will accept for not handing material in on time. Okay, so in real life, you have to be on time and get your work done, and the same will go for you here. Okay, questions on that part? Okay. Assessment and evaluation. So this has to do with your marks. Okay. Sorry, you had a question? No? Okay. Okay. So first thing is that I'm not going to discuss your mark with you in class. Okay. I cannot discuss your mark with you in front of other people. Okay. It's a FOIP issue. It's your mark. If you have a problem with your mark or you don't understand why you got it, then by all means, you can come and talk to me after class. Okay. So please feel free to do that if that's the case. Okay. The second thing here, your marks will be distributed according to the syllabus. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. 4.3. Okay. Assignments and labs are to be handed in on time. Okay. On time means the start of class on the due date. Okay. If it's something being handed in through Google Classroom, which is the bulk of everything, okay, then it'll already be set up in Google Classroom. The due date will be the start of class. It'll say 8:35 on February, whatever. Okay, so it'll already be set up in there. Make sure you have it submitted before that time. Okay, late assignments will be penalized 30%. Okay, there's a couple reasons why that's so high. Okay, if you know you're going to be absent on a due date, you may hand in an assignment early if it's something on paper. Again, that's not very often that I actually have you hand in physical paper. So if it's Google Classroom, if you're not going to be here, you can still hand it in. You can hand it in from anywhere in the world. Okay, I had a kid who took Physics 20 the first 3 months of it while he was on a student exchange in Belgium. He never had a late assignment. Okay, he handed everything in on Google Classroom by the due date and time. Okay, from that far away. So it's possible for you to do it. Okay, if you were absent the day something was assigned, you're still responsible for getting it in on time. With Google Classroom, this is easy, and assignments are not lost, so no exceptions will be made on that. Okay, here's the reason why there's a 30% late penalty. If you hand something in to me on Tuesday, you will have it back Wednesday, all of the time. I hand back everything the next day, okay, without exception. I've only failed to do that once in 20 years of teaching. Once. The day my second son was born, something came in due. I didn't get those marked for the next day, because I figured it would be a bad idea to be, holding my wife's hand while she's giving birth to our son and marking labs at the same time. I stand by that decision. It was the right decision. Okay, I didn't get those ones done for the next day, but I did have them done the day after that. Okay, but you will get them back the next day. Sometimes you'll even get them back the same day. If I get a chance to mark them during the day, I will. Okay, so you get stuff back immediately. And the reason for that is, then when we go through it, which is what we'll do, the very next class, we'll go over the whole assignment. Okay, I'll go through the whole thing, answers, whatever. Okay, here were some problem areas, here's some misunderstandings, get all those worked out. Okay, I will do that the next day. That means that you can't hand it in for full marks because you just found everything out. Okay, and you got a chance to talk to your friends or whatever. So, okay, if it isn't in at the start of class on the due date, it is penalized immediately. Okay. You have to get it done. Okay. The other thing is I don't want you working through my class when I'm teaching something new, trying to get this thing done. Okay, because I know that happens. Like I see people doing it. They're, oh, I've got this thing I didn't do, and I'm trying to get it finished, and they're not paying attention, and they're missing a day of class effectively because they were working on something that they should have done before. Okay, so it's due at the start of class on the due date for full marks. That's the only time you'll get full marks for it. Okay, after that, it's going to be docked. Everybody clear on that one? Okay, and like I said, you will get it back the next day. I guarantee it. Okay, all right. Questions on that part? Okay. So the syllabus goes as follows. We got 4 units, okay? 4 units in Science 10. The first unit is chemistry, okay? And that'll start out with some review like structure of the atom, naming compounds, things like that you did in Science 9. And then we'll take it up a notch looking at different kinds of compounds and a little bit more complex naming. Then we'll look at reactions, properties of matter, okay? we'll look at solubility, polar nature of water, mole equation, and that'll be it. That unit tends to be, we'll probably finish that, let's say mid-March. Okay, somewhere in there. Actually, yeah, mid to late March because we have a week off in February, or you have a week off. Okay, so expect probably somewhere in that area. The second unit is biology, okay, and we'll be going over like parts of the cell, how the cell functions as a system, how cells can make up whole organisms, and how they transport material and things like that. Biology is a lot different than chemistry. Chemistry is very much a skill-based science where you'll be asked to demonstrate your ability to do things, whereas in biology, it'll be tell me what you know, apply your knowledge and understanding. Okay, so they're different. There's a lot more memorization in biology. There's a lot more method in chemistry. Okay, Unit 3 will be physics. Okay, physics is a lot like chemistry in that it's a skill-based science. You need to demonstrate what you can do. Okay, show me your skills and things like graphing, manipulating equations, solving problems and things like that. We talk about energy, we talk about graphing, we talk about speed and acceleration and things like that, work and energy, all that kind of stuff. The last unit is the shortest unit. Okay, this past semester is actually the longest I've ever had to do it, and I had 2 full weeks to teach it. Okay, but I've taught it in as few as 4 days. It's a very, very short unit, but it counts for the same as all the others. Okay, so it'll be right at the end. Okay, first couple weeks of June. Okay, your marks distribution. Okay, so something pretty important here. Your unit exams, and there are 4 of them, 1 for each unit, are going to count for 25% of your final mark. Okay. Your labs, projects, assignments, your class work, okay, the stuff that we set up. So if we do a lab and you hand in the lab report, okay, I assign you a project or an assignment or something like that, those count for almost half of your overall mark. Okay, those are the things that you can, work with, if you want to talk to a friend on or you want to ask me a question about, that's that stuff, okay, counts for almost half of your mark, okay. So this is where like hard work pays off. That's that part of that mark, okay. Quizzes. Okay, something I didn't mention about quizzes. You're going to have a quiz every Tuesday and every Thursday. It's short. Okay, it takes 5-10 minutes tops. Okay, they're going to be worth 10% of your mark, but here's the good thing about them. I will post them on Google Classroom the night before. Okay, so the quiz you're going to write on Tuesday will be posted on Google Classroom Monday around 3:30. Okay, the quiz you're going to write on Thursday will be posted on Google Classroom Wednesday around 3:30. So you'll have a chance to see what the quiz is, try it at home, look up the answers, okay, do whatever, okay, and then come in the next day and write exactly the same quiz in my class. All right, the idea here is that you take advantage of that. All right, it's a way to encourage review. All right, if you're, you look at the quiz, you make a group chat and you talk to your friends, how do you solve this problem? What answer did you get? I'm fine with all that. Okay, this is just me giving you a chance to review, but also get some marks for it. Okay, really, there's no reason to do poorly on these quizzes. Okay, you're getting them ahead of time. Take advantage of the fact you're getting them ahead of time. Okay, and then your final exam, which will take place somewhere near the end of June, will be worth 20% of your final mark. Okay. All right, questions on any of that? Okay, so how do I do well in Science 10? Okay, big thing is obviously try not to miss class. Okay, second big thing, review often. Right, now review doesn't mean every night you go home and read all the notes that you got. Not that that's not useful, okay, but you don't necessarily need to do that. Look at what we've been working on. Okay, like if I give you a quiz, if I post a quiz, doing that quiz is review. Okay, that's useful for you. Getting your assignments done is important. Okay, that's how you do well. Okay, that's if you're working on those assignments and handing them in, you're getting marks. You're learning the material. That's what they're designed for. Okay, extra things that you can do that can help you to do exceptionally well. Okay, watch podcasts again of concepts you're having trouble with. Okay, so if you didn't really understand it the first time, it doesn't hurt to watch me go over another example or watch that same example one more time and see if there was just something you missed. Okay, because again, I'll record the whole thing. Okay, you don't have to watch a 45-minute podcast. You only maybe need to watch 2.5 minutes of it. Okay, it's worthwhile to do that. With the quizzes, I podcast the solutions. Okay, when you guys write the quiz, we'll turn around and mark it right there. As soon as you're done, we just exchange the papers and we mark it here in class. And I record me going over the solutions. Okay, so if you did poorly on a quiz, you'll want to watch that one again. Okay, when you're doing review for the unit exam or something like that. Here's how you get to those, by the way. In Gradebook, okay, in PowerSchool, in the app, if you open up the app and then you look at a specific assignment, if you click on that assignment, it opens up the details for it, and in each one there will be 2 links. One link will say quiz 5 questions. If you click on that, it'll be the document I posted on Google Classroom that had the quiz. Okay, the one below it will say podcast of quiz 5. If you click on that, it'll take you to YouTube, and that'll be me. That'll be the recording of me solving the problem on the board. Okay, worthwhile to look at those again, because the kind of things I'd ask on a quiz are the kind of things I'd ask on a test. Okay, so worthwhile to use those kind of strategies. Okay, and the last thing, take advantage of scheduled help and lunch hour help. Okay, I don't have any life, so I'm in here all the time. Okay, if you need help at lunch, as long as I'm not on supervision, this is where I will be. Okay, you can come in and ask questions. You have 20 minutes of scheduled help every day. Okay, pop in and see me, ask questions. Okay, if you got them, don't be shy. Okay, everybody has questions, so don't be shy about asking them. Pop in. Okay, you're having trouble with a lab report or an assignment. Okay, I'm not going to obviously give you the answers, but I can try and steer you in a direction that'll get you there. All right, but don't be afraid to ask for help. Okay. Okay. So other things that people usually ask: can I have food or drink in here? Yes, you can. Okay. Whatever you want to have in here is fine. Just if you make a mess, you need to clean it up. Okay. So if you need a coffee, okay, that's fine. If you're having breakfast, because you didn't have time, that's fine. Okay. But if you come in here every morning with a liter of Coke and a 500-gram bag of Doritos, I'll probably give you a nutrition lecture. But okay, you can have food and drink in here. That's no problem. We already talked about my cell phone policy. Okay. It's a tool, so I expect to see it, but I expect to see it doing what it's supposed to be doing. Okay, yeah, okay, I understand that probably occasionally you're going to get a text or a snap, whatever, and you might answer that, but let's try and keep that to a minimum. Okay, because that's a distraction, and we want to eliminate those as much as possible, and we want to have genuine interaction between us. Okay, if we're locked to our phone all the time, then we're not experiencing the full gamut of everything else. Okay. If you need like an extra copy, like if you forgot your periodic table or you lost it and you haven't had a chance to print a new one, there will be some extras here. Okay, smaller versions usually. But what I'll do right now is I'll just give everybody their periodic table / data sheet. Okay, so that they've got it. But extras will be on that shelf. Okay, but again, I don't print very much. Like I don't even print like lab sheets or anything like that because it's all on Google Classroom. Okay, so there'll be very little paper handed out in class here. Yep. Mm-hmm. Welcome. Okay, so guys, this is your data sheet for the whole course. Okay, you got periodic table on one side, useful for chemistry. Okay, on the back here, you've got solubility chart, useful for chemistry. And then you've got your formulas. Okay, most of those have to do with physics, but there's a few in there that have to do with global systems and energy. All right, don't lose this. All right, if yours has a bunch of writing on it, you want a different one, just let me know, okay? Because these were the ones I used for the final exam, and I'm just trying to save some trees, okay? There's more up here. If you lose yours, okay, you can find them here. Okay, other things here. In terms of how frequently do I communicate with your parents? The answer is that I will invite them to have the Guardian thing on Google Classroom where they'll get the update as often as they choose, whether that's weekly or daily. Okay, so they'll know what's going on. But in terms of do I contact them kind of randomly? No, I don't. Okay, I will contact them if you've done something maybe especially good, or if I've got some sort of concern. Okay, those are the times when I will communicate with them. They are of course always welcome to communicate with me if they have a question or concern. Okay, they can do that, and obviously the same goes for you. You got a question or concern, let me know. In terms of getting a hold of me, okay, so if you have a question or something like that, okay, during school hours is the best time. Okay, if you email me after school hours, I may or may not respond. All right, I do have family outside of this school, okay, and I do want to spend time with them, and I want to give them my full and undivided attention. So, if you're emailing me at 10:30 at night, I'm going to be choked because I'll probably like be going to bed because I'm old and I need my sleep. Because I've had people who email me at like 1 in the morning. Mr. Good, I got this question about the lab. Really? You think I'm conscious right now? Like, yeah. And then my phone wakes me up because they emailed me and I didn't put the do not disturb on. Yeah. Don't do that. Okay. Boundaries are important. Okay. So if you have a question, you can email me. I might respond, but I won't guarantee it. If I'm, doing something with my family, then I probably won't. Okay. But obviously you can always get a hold of me here at school. Okay. Class, schedule, help, break, whatever. Okay. In terms of workload, okay, like I said, there's going to be more than you're probably used to, okay, from grade 9. Each unit will have at least 2 labs, at least, okay, and each unit will have like probably 1 or 2 major assignments and a couple of in-class activities as well that'll be handed in for marks, okay. Usually by the end of the semester, okay, you will have handed in close to 20 assignments for marks and had about that many quizzes as well, okay, because you're going to get about 2 a week, okay, in terms of the quizzes. So there'll be lots of opportunities for you to show me what you know, okay, improve your mark, okay, things like that. And a lot of people look at that like, oh, there's so much work to do. But okay, the more times I assess you, the more chances you have to do well, okay, and the less one bad assignment means that way as well, okay. Drawing a blank on anything else. Do you guys have any questions? Okay. Oh, sorry. I remember the other thing. Can you listen to music? The answer is yes, provisionally. Okay. There are appropriate times for you to have your earbuds in, and there are inappropriate times you have them in. Right now would be an inappropriate time where I'm talking to you. Okay. But if we're at our desks and we're working on something or practicing something and you want to isolate yourself a little bit, I'm okay with that. Okay. It'd be fine for you to have your earbuds in if we're just doing some seat work or working on something, that's fine. Okay. But as soon as I say listen up or I'm back at the front teaching again, then I need them out and I need your full and undivided attention. So again, I got no problem with that, just as long as we're being responsible about it. Okay. Some lab stuff. For the labs, when we go across the hall to the chemistry lab, you need to make sure that you have proper footwear. Okay, so that can't be anything that's open toed on the top. Okay, so like flip flops or like stiletto heels or something like that. Okay, those would not be a good idea for in the lab for a couple of reasons. If we spill something, it'll run off the table and obviously onto your feet if you don't have a shoe that covers your foot. We don't want any bare feet in there, even if they're in flip flops, because people break glass in there all the time, and we wouldn't want you to get cut by any pieces of glass that might have remained on the floor. And if you have long hair, you should put a hair tie in your science binder, okay, so that you always have one when we go to the lab. Okay, if you got long enough hair that when you lean forward, it could get in something, okay, then it should be tied back, and make sure you have a hair tie with you for science all the time. Okay, in terms of like eyewear, if we're most labs that we'll do in the lab will require you to wear goggles. So if you normally wear glasses, okay, then you might want to, and you have contacts, it's a good idea to wear contacts on the day we're doing a lab, and I'll usually let you know because it's easier to put the goggles on when you don't have your prescription glasses on, okay, because prescription glasses don't count as safety glasses. They don't wrap around, okay, they don't give you the adequate protection, okay. Fire exits. That's the other one. Okay. Nearest fire exit is out the languages wing here. So if you know where the stairs are to go upstairs, okay, don't go up the stairs, go to that set of doors. We go out to the back parking lot where that storage container used to be. Okay, that's where we go to. If that exit is blocked, our secondary exit is the end of the science wing. That's not our primary exit because we'd have to wait for 8 classrooms to empty before we could use it. Okay, so this one is quicker. If both of those are blocked, then we go out the front door. Okay, but the primary exit is the back doors over here by the languages wing. Closest bathrooms right here. Okay, so if you ask to go to the bathroom, please don't wander. Okay, you don't need to go upstairs. You can use these ones, they're nice and close. Nearest water fountain is right beside them over there. Okay. In terms of if you need a break, like, sometimes, you just need to kind of get up and move around. I usually try and build those in, but if you're finding that you need to, you can. Okay, just get up and move around a little bit, or just ask. Okay, if you need to use the washroom or something like that, just ask. Okay, that's not a problem. Okay, if there's no other questions, then we'll start looking at the first lesson here. Okay, so you might need to get your phone out and have a look at the notes package, okay, for chemistry.